The Click Pop podcast. I'm here with Justin. I'm here with Mark. We just barely survived the hurricane. How are you guys? I'm sure you're hunkering down, awaiting shelter, and your communication has been cut off too. How's everything going?
It's good, man. I put a video up. I drove my truck through my street or down my street, and it in the valley it was a river. I mean, it was a straight up river. You could have had water skis in the back, and I could have towed somebody through there. It was pretty wild. I put a video up, and people were commenting on it. It was wild. I mean, I have a truck with big tires, and so I was able to drive through the water pretty easily. But I saw a lot of cars pulled over on the side. There was cars that were like flooded out. So, and there was some video of cars floating down the LA River. Did you see that?
I saw a few. Yeah, pictures.
I didn't know it was that bad. Glad everybody survived the hurricane of 2023 in California. It was so scary.
It was a weird hurricane because it didn't hit everywhere. It just seemed to hit pockets very badly. Like where I was, there was very light rain all day, almost no wind. Late last night, I heard a little bit of wind and rain coming through finally. But like for the whole day, there was nothing. And there were various other parts of LA where it wasn't an issue. Where you were, a river running down the street sounds bad, although we've had that just with a typical rainstorm as well. So to me, it didn't live up to like hurricane or even tropical storm levels. It was really just a problem for the desert. Palm Springs is in trouble. And other desert areas, and now getting into Nevada, they're in trouble. But like it wasn't an LA thing. It was a media fabrication, I think.
Well, I think the media just kind of like picked up on what the weather experts were saying, and they were sort of going with it because they can get clicks, and so that happens. But it was a once in a lifetime event because that doesn't happen very often, I believe. Mark, right? What'd you say the last time it happened was?
Yeah, it was something like was it 1950s or something like that? I don't know.
1939 was the last time.
39. Wow,
hurricane touched down.
Kind of crazy. But it's just like the. I'm sorry, it's just like the media selling fear. Fear sells advertising. I see this a lot on the East Coast when snowstorms come around. We got a big blizzard coming in, and then you see a couple snow flurries because people get scared. It's easy to scare the public, and then they go and they tune into the news every 5 minutes to see how close the storm is, and they're driving ratings up for the news channel and selling advertising. I think it's big, I knew right away when I heard this. I said, this is so hyped up. It's just going to be a rainstorm here in LA.
Exactly. If they had not told us this was a hurricane and then it was just like, rain's coming in this weekend, no one would have known the difference. I agree completely that the media saw a tiny morsel of truth that like it was a possibility that the first hurricane to touch down in LA in 80 plus years could touch down. So they went with it. They hyped it up completely. It's fun. It's exciting to think, oh, my God, we got a hurricane coming to L.A. Everybody, run for your life. And so we all got into it. But I was watching the coverage on Saturday as the storm was weakening into a tropical storm. And they were like, well, it still could be windy out there. You got to be careful for that. And the rain,
The public's such a bunch of lemmings. Did you see? I went into the supermarket here locally. Yeah. And I couldn't believe that all the shelves were, all the food was sold out. Look at this.
It's the end of the world as we know it. I got to show this video though. Look at this. This is me. Can you see this now?
Okay, here. Let me put that up for us. Show us your video.
Oh wait, is it gonna? Oh wait, it won't do it.
It's in your it's caught in the metaverse of your green
screen.
Yeah,
you can see me driving through this. Look at that.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Look at that. It's a river.
Yeah, it's fun, but like that's happened multiple times in the last several years. Yeah. It was never a hurricane.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't understand why the public is just such a bunch of lemmings. They're just so easily frightened. Wear your mask. Be afraid of COVID. Worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so easy to manipulate the public. I was talking to a few of my friends that are into conspiracies. And some people are even suggesting the possibility that this was all distraction to what's going on in Maui. This was purposely something that was put out there. Everybody changes their focus, to this big hurricane hitting. No one's talking about Maui anymore. So it's this is I don't know. What do you think?
Could be. I think it would be more of the media just trying to get clicks. It's very hard to do these days. But also, I heard about an interesting conspiracy theory on Instagram where a guy thinks that it was all a ruse so that the military or somebody could transport something when everyone is like staying home. Because like yesterday, everyone felt like they had to stay home, get off the roads. You keep getting flash flood warnings. There's no flash flood.
Right.
If you look at the traffic, it's empty. You know, if they needed to transport something, remember the New York City blackout in the late 70s that the theory was they were, you know, moving some kind of alien or a UFO, and that's why they had to black out the whole city. That this was like a rain out. Everyone stay home just in case. It could be really bad out there. Get off the roads. And then the military just zooms up to Simi Valley or wherever the hell they're going. And they're moving some sort of alien body.
What were they moving? Why wouldn't they just put it in a truck? Why would they have to do all that unless it was something too big?
But I actually received a warning, emergency alert to that we were supposed to stay at home. I'll read it to you. A National Weather Service flash flood warning. This is dangerous, life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. So they're actually telling us to stay at home. So who knows? I mean, it's a little bit over exaggeration.
What do you think about this?
I don't know. Bizarre.
I'm just totally speculating and conspiracy theorizing. It was like a test run because all the talk about Maui is direct energy weapons. That's what happened. It wasn't just a fire. There was a weapon that was pointed and set everything on fire. What if this was now like a test run for the West Coast of their energy weapon? Because you have the hurricane. They give you a light hurricane. They don't want to really destroy anything, just a little light hurricane. And then they trigger a little earthquake in Ojai on the same day. And it's all like part of the plan. They're getting ready for like the big catastrophic apocalypse where we're going to say, oh my God, we need martial law. We need everything. Everyone get into a FEMA camp. Everyone get in the car. We're going to Bill Gates's gigantic ranch. And we're all going to live there and stay there until things are safe.
I think you need to get a job writing for Disney, my friend.
Well, actually, there are conspiracy people talking about this. They were blaming this on HAARP, the HARRP program that's up in Alaska, which is a very mysterious weather. Some people say it's a weather control experiment that's going on in Alaska. The people really don't know that much about it, exactly what it is. But people have been saying for years that it's a program to control the weather. I think even this is what I talked about, I believe, last week about even the Russians brought this up when we first built the thing. And they were claiming that's what it was. So it's kind of interesting. But some people were saying, well, I mean, some of the conspiracy people online and some of the people I talked to were talking about, well, maybe like Los Angeles is next. I mean, this might be something that's years in the making. Are we going to be the next smart city that they developed, like, you know, attack Los Angeles with a weather machine and rebuild Los Angeles as another smart city? I mean, Newsom's already trying to push electric cars on us, force us to use electric cars out here.
In order for us to be smart, Mark, we're gonna have to get rid of all the politicians that run this city for a long time now. So not gonna happen with the Democrats running LA. I'll tell you that.
Weirdly, the Democrats will save us then because they will prevent themselves from being removed.
They've had 60 years, but they just need another 60, and they're going to work it all out. Make sure you keep voting for them. They're the ones them and them alone are the ones that are going to clean up this problem.
Listen, you might be right, Mark. I mean, when was the last time, other than the 94 Northridge quake, when was the last time Los Angeles had a major catastrophic event? New York, they got their blood sacrifice with 9/11. And now I don't know if anyone would care enough about Chicago getting hit. It could be LA's turn in the barrel, and it could be a weather thing. It could be a simultaneous earthquake, hurricane. Now they can be like, hey, it's happened before. This isn't crazy. We had an earthquake.
How do you know? Listen, if this place is prone for earthquakes since its formation, which was thousands and tens of thousands of years ago, how do you know that it's humans that are making the earthquake now? This is a crazy argument. I mean,
we got hit. Did you feel the earthquake? I mean, there was an earthquake that hit at the same time.
It was a roller. It was a 5 roller.
Yeah, well, that's pretty big.
I didn't feel it. I got the alert and I was like, "Is this a mistake?"
No, the roller, dude. It was like it was nothing.
Yeah, it's very odd though to hit earthquake and hurricane at the same
Well,
time.
it's not because they say
strange.
that when the water, there's a theory that when the water goes down, it lubricates and creates movement.
Could be.
Well, I think the only conspiracy at this time, I think, which is pretty well founded, I think, is I believe that the media was overhyping this to sell
big time.
promotion, push the news, get people to watch their local news stations. I see this all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of getting sick of the media pushing fear.
It's like when the media, when you see another report like, "Oh, COVID is having a resurgence," like the editors are just like, "Yeah, run it. It'll get some clicks. Sure. Yeah, let's build this up."
Not only that, that's Democrats that want to have us go on lockdown again so they could do the mail-in vote, which they know it's about as shady as you're going to get when the mail-in vote is. Mail-in voting come on.
So I said you went out yesterday, Justin. Did you go out? Did you go out, Dante? Did you mention if you went out or not?
I didn't. I went out very little, just for like local groceries and stuff like that. It was really
I went out. It wasn't that bad, honestly. I mean, I drove around. The shirt got a little wet. I saw people walking around without umbrellas.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Walking around, it wasn't even that bad.
And one thing though, the supermarkets were, they might have been wiped out, but there was one section of the supermarket that you could get anything you wanted, and that was the vegan section. Those vegan hot dogs and vegan hamburgers.
By the way, did you just try one of that new Arby's cheeseburgers? I wanted to hear what your review was.
Arby's has a secret menu item, which is a cheeseburger. And they've got a ranch burger and a regular burger. I had the regular burgers. I wanted to start out, basic, just see what it was like. And it was really good. It was actually really good. The bun was delicious. It was a potato bun. The meat was pretty good. The flavoring was good. I give it a B.
Why are they keeping that a secret? Boy, I don't get it.
And I went to the window and I go, because somebody I saw on TikTok had a burger, and the guy was like, "There's a burger there and it's really good." I said, "Dude, I want to try it," So I went down. I didn't realize the strikes were canceled, so I went down to Paramount today, and there was nobody there. I was the only one. I'm like, "Oh, I guess I didn't get the memo." So I turned around. I said, "You know what? I woke up. I got down here. I'm kind of hungry. I have food at the house, but I cook all the time. I just don't feel like cooking this afternoon." And so I said, "You know what? Now's a good time to try the Arby's burger. This way, I pull a positive from a negative, And
Sure.
And I went up there and I went to the window, and I didn't see it on the menu, which, by the way, I hadn't been to Arby's in so long, and I saw a lot of things on the menu that I didn't even know they had. Some really interesting things, wings and stuff. I was like, wow. But I'm there for the burger, so that's what I stuck with. And I said to the guy over the speaker, I was like, "Do you guys have a burger?" He's like, "Yeah, we have two. Which one do you want?" I'm like, "No way. I don't see it on the menu." He's like, "It's not on there." So I got the regular burger, and I went up. I'm like, "You guys, is this always on here?" He goes, "Yeah, it's a secret menu item." I'm like, "It's awesome." So I took a picture of it. Came out pretty good.
Oh, wow.
Let's see what we got here. Hold on a second. I document everything. You can't just, if you don't take a picture of it, did it really exist?
Absolutely.
But that's a picture of the burger right there. If you can, how do I do this? I can't with that.
Wow. I've never seen one that looks like that.
It's pretty good,
dude. I just want to say,
I
hope that Arby's sends us free passes now for free burgers.
They have. Have you seen the menu? Have you seen the menu at Arby's lately? I'm not an Arby's guy. I've never been there in years, but I went there for the burger. But I looked at the menu and I'm like, what? They have this boneless wings. They've got a Reuben sandwich. They've got a gyro. They have a gyro. I was like, what? When did Arby's get all this?
Somebody must have bought them recently.
Sure,
they didn't run across the street to another restaurant and order a burger and then come back. Like, how long did it take to get your burger?
Fast.
How would you compare it to McDonald's and what is it? The other one, Burger King. Yeah,
no, In-N-Out.
Blank for a second.
No, In-N-Out.
In-N-Out, Burger King.
It's In-N-Out reigns supreme for sure. In-N-Out reigns supreme. Next on the list is McDonald's. I got to go Mickey D's because that quarter pounder of cheese is ridiculous. It's so good. And the cheeseburgers at McDonald's. There's something about the flavor of McDonald's. I can't put my finger on it, but McDonald's has a very distinct flavor and it's really good. I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe because I grew up with it and stuff, But In-N-Out, then McDonald's, and then I would say Arby's, dude. I'd say Arby's number 3. Wow. It's above Wendy's. Wendy's has fell off big time. I went to Wendy's not that long because I had to. I was going to an event. I was hungry. I had no time, and there was a huge line everywhere else. And Wendy's had no line. So I went in there, and the burger I had to throw it away. It It was that bad. Wendy's
you
just
know,
fell off,
Anthony,
and Burger King. I had Burger King like about a year ago, and I took 2 bites out of my Whopper and I threw it in the trash. It was that bad. What?
Wow.
So Burger King and Wendy's have fell off. So it's gonna be In-N-Out, McDonald's, and then Arby's, dude, for sure.
Wow.
you know, Anthony
Wendy's.
Bourdain even liked In-N-Out Burger. He talked
Yeah,
about that
he
on
did.
one of his shows. That's kind of interesting.
Everyone likes In-N-Out for the most part. All right, well, that's yeah, listen, ever since Dave Thomas died, I guess he stopped ensuring that Wendy's, made their meat from got their meat from quality sources or something. I don't know. Real quick, just to wrap things up on the hurricane, you can see there is a photo of Dodger Stadium. It was actually flooded, or at least the parking lot was.
Yeah, I see
And
that.
so, certain parts got it, certain parts didn't.
Or
It was-
or Frank McCourt. He's probably so upset right now. His parking lot got flooded.
Yeah.
Hmm.
By the way, Hillary is now going by post-tropical cyclone Hillary. All right, so please respect that.
No, never. I never respect
That's
those
funny.
things.
It's post-trop, okay? Come on, chill
Yeah.
out. All right.
Yeah, and
goodbye.
apparently the storm came through, and I heard 30,000 people lost emails. So
That's true. They were destroyed.
Good.
Goodbye, Hillary. All right. Real quick, let's talk about this guy Martin Shkreli. We haven't heard about him for a very long time.
oh my god,
He was the Pharma bro. You were his roommate or something, right, Justin, back in New York? Is that what I heard?
yeah.
So he's the guy who raised the price on an anti-parasitic drug from $13.50 to $750, a 5,455% increase. And everyone hated him back in 2015.
Mhm.
And then it was like the greatest instance of instant karma that I've ever seen. He immediately got arrested for something unrelated and then was sentenced to 7 years in jail, getting out just a couple of years ago. Now he wants to date people. He says he just got out of a relationship, and he instead of like hitting the dating scene like normal again, he's put together a form that you have to fill out if you would like to date him. So I'm sure it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but he needs to know if you would hold him down if he got locked up. He needs to know what your gang affiliation is. You list Blood, Crip, LK, Hacker, Other,
Latin
and
Kings.
none.
That's Latin Kings, baby.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. I was going to say, I don't recognize that one. There's some new gangs. By the way, what happened to the Bloods and Crips? Remember in the 90s, everything was Bloods and Crips. It was like the biggest boogeyman in the media. It was the Bloods and Crips in South Central LA. You don't hear about them in the news anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still killing each other. I'm sure they're fighting over land, territory, and power. They're
I don't know.
still
Do you-
exist.
They're working security now for rappers.
They work together. It's really weird. Some of those gangs fight within themselves and join forces with other ones, depending on where they're located and what business they're involved in. But
I don't know. Do you think like Al Qaeda or the Taliban stole their thunder? Because like once the war on terror started, I didn't hear about the Bloods and Crips anymore.
yeah, I guess I don't know.
They need to up their social media game. They're not ISIS, at least, was very good at recruiting people online. I don't think that the Bloods and Crips have had the same success.
Music. They're all involved in music now. They're doing positive things. They're doing positive things with music.
I love it. Yes, we love the Bloods and Crips. Just in case any are watching, we're big.
We love
supporters.
positivity, and I think a lot of those gang members, I think a lot of them came from tough times and they did what they had to do. But a lot of them are involved in music and stuff. Becoming artists.
I donate to blood causes and Crip causes. I just want to make that clear in case anyone's watching. Have you ever identified or been identified by your peers as a thought? That's that hoe over there. And of course, your measurements. Are you willing to become pregnant? Do you F on the first date? Stuff like that. He's still a great guy, as you can see. Any woman.
I mean, those are legitimate questions nowadays with what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Does this guy still have any money? Has he been wiped out financially?
Oh no. I think he's doing quite well. He has founded a couple hedge funds, and he paid some fines, but I think he's still, all of these guys get out of jail and they figure out how to make money again, whether it's like publicly or under the table or something. They all figure it out.
And they also buy property in Florida and Texas where it can't be taken from them. So they can leverage those properties. That's why they all have these huge 30, 40, $50 million properties in Texas and Florida. And then when they get out of jail, they can still have those properties available to them. The government can't take them. Other states they can, but they can't take in those 2 states. And then they're able to leverage those properties to get loans and keep business as usual.
Well,
yeah, look at Michael Milken.
Yeah, this guy's kind of a scumbag. So if anybody really wants to be with him, then go for it. You know,
if history,
your dream guy is, and what can you say?
Yeah.
You know,
if history has taught us anything, is that women will, if you have money and fame, you're going to get women. That's it. They don't care. They don't care about anything. Most don't. I mean, there are women that do, but there's just so many beautiful women that don't care. If you're rich, they care more
Trump's
about
wife. Look at Trump's wife.
Look at the Biden family. I mean, look at Hunter. I mean, they don't care. They don't care.
Hunter and this guy would probably click. They'd probably get along well.
Oh, they'd be hanging out for sure.
He and also Billy McFarland, the Fire Festival guy. I'm surprised we haven't heard about these.
That's a nice guy. I met him. I just interviewed him. He's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah. He's real nice.
He turned over a new leaf, man. I'm telling you, give the guy a chance. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure he's cool. I've heard good things.
Yeah, he's nice.
Till the next Fire Festival.
He's doing another one.
We'll see.
He has another one. Yeah, they're doing another
one.
Are you?
I want you to go and cover it. And then, we'll do a live podcast from there.
Buy my ticket and I'll be there.
That festival will be more dangerous than Hurricane Hillary. I guarantee it.
Probably.
Right. Forget about Shkreli. We're not here to help him. Britney Spears, little Britney Spears update. First of all, she says the divorce won't change her book. The memoir's still a go for October. Well, of course, it's not like she would have to do anything anyway. Does anybody believe she wrote one word of this thing or even read one word of it?
I believe it.
I'm sure there's going to be a ghostwriter on this. I don't think she could write this book, but I'm just curious. Do you think she'll do a book signing? That'd be kind of amazing if she actually has to go out there and interact with her fans. I mean,
she's going to have to
get some crazy video from that.
No, she's going to have to. That's how the deals go. All these publishers now, the new game now is because they're competing. The market's absolutely flooded. So the only way they can have any type of guarantee on their investment, the only way they're going to get an ROI is if they force the celebrities to go out and go to the book signings. And they do this on purpose when they have someone like Britney who is unhinged and a little unpredictable. They'll put it in their cause. The publishers, the big places, the Random House, the Penguin. They're gonna set it up where they'll say, okay, look, we're gonna publish the book. We'll spend X amount of millions of dollars, pay you your X amount of millions of dollars. However, there's a caveat, and the caveat is if you don't go to every single book signing that we tell you have to go to, and they're going to have them in strategic places for the fans and times. If they go, they'll have it written in the cause where if she's late, if she's even a minute late, they're going to have to be able to deduct money off of what they owe her. And they do that on purpose so that they know some of these celebrities are going to go late or not show up or bail. And then they don't have to pay all this money that they agreed to pay. So they are going to make her go to do book signing for sure. I would put money on that for sure.
All I know is I'm going to be there for sure. Cause I'm sure it's going to be very entertaining.
Wait in line with me, Mark. I'll be waiting in line with you, Mark.
Yeah. You got to get some video from that.
I don't think I think that there will be some kind of announcement. She can't make it. It's too much pressure. They'll do that auto signing. Remember what Bob Dylan got in trouble for a couple of years ago?
Yeah, Mark caught that story. Mark caught that early.
Yes, I was actually helping out some of the press people with that. They were asking me questions. And by the way, I got a huge argument with somebody at the post office, a random person. I was mailing out some stuff. He asked me what I was mailing. I said, "Oh, some autographed memorabilia." He goes, "Did you ever get Bob Dylan?" I go, "Yeah." And I just told him the story how Bob Dylan had all these fake autographed books that he sold, and it's come out that he also had fake signatures on his paintings that he was selling. It's a big story in the New York Times. You can read about it. And people don't believe it. And this guy got so angry at me that I dare call out Bob Dylan. Like, he just called me every name in the book. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was a piece of garbage. That Bob Dylan's a genius. And I'm like, you're a fanboy, man. Just this guy's is a big phony. Like he's been caught doing this stuff, like screwing over his fans on these fake signed books. And then by the way, he went on his Twitter. He never responds to his criticism, but this one time he goes, I'm going to make sure that we set this right. I'm going to make sure I take care of this and set it right for the fans. He didn't do one single thing. He never, you would think like, okay, I'm going to mail out some signed book plates or something, some real things. Never did one thing for all these people who bought these fake books. And they refunded the publisher refunded the money because they had to, basically. They were selling fake stuff with a fake letter that declared the signature was real. And I understand there was a class action lawsuit being filed on this, by the way. And I don't know where that went, but there was the guy who actually, I understand the guy who, the CEO, I believe it was Penguin Books, actually was let go recently, I believe, because I think in part because they couldn't, take care of they were trying to do a big merger and he couldn't pull it off. But I'm sure that this story being in the press didn't help. It was probably a big embarrassment for the publisher. Now, actually, I don't think it was Penguin Books. It was trying to remember who published
it. Random House? Who was it?
Well, I have to look this up quick. But
Bob Dylan, he probably looks at it and he's like, how many days is it going to take to re-sign these books? I'm 80 years old. I'm not going to do that. No way.
Away.
Did he actually sign for you in person?
I've never gotten him in person. He's notoriously difficult signature to sign. He actually was on Pawn Stars one time, and he signed for the guy on Pawn Stars, and he actually, like, on the show, the guy walks up to the store bus and said, "Bob, can I have a signature?" And he just kind of like, goes, "Yeah, sure, no problem." It was kind of almost like a tongue-in-cheek, I think, smack in the face to fans, because they're like, he never does this. He pretty much, if you walk up to him and just like, a lot of times he'll just ignore you and just won't even acknowledge. It's Simon and Schuster, by the way, the publisher.
Simon and Schuster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But my experience, I know he does sign on rare occasion, but he's notoriously a difficult signer. What amazes me, what's so funny is originally when autograph collectors pointed out this fake autograph to the publisher, they denied it at first because it actually came with a letter from the publisher that the signature was real. And then they started proving they were real. They put them side by side. They were exactly alike. And the autograph collectors said, "Hey, you know what? I bet you Dylan's been doing this for years." So they investigated these paintings that he'd been selling these prints at an art house, and for thousands of dollars. People are buying them, and they found that the signatures were also fake. And now people are questioning if even the paintings are real. There's a whole theory that he didn't even paint the paintings. That this is a big joke by Dylan, that he actually, there's a whole theory that he hired another painter to paint these paintings.
Really?
And he didn't even sign them, and it's like this big like ha on the public. And you start to wonder, like, if this is like this big joke that Dylan
that's not
pulling
cool.
off on the gullible
public. The painter that he hired, Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, just had a question. I'm just curious. How much would a Bob Dylan autograph on an album be? Like, let's say, I don't know, Blood on the Tracks. Like, how much would an autograph album of vinyl be of Bob Dylan?
I've seen them go for, like, I mean, honestly, probably about $5,000.
$5,000?
Yeah, something like that.
For an album? If I had a vinyl and sign that?
Yeah.
$5,000?
Yeah, and they may even go more. I mean, $5,000, $10,000.
I mean, at this point,
especially Blood on the Tracks. It's a classic album. Everybody wants that one, but
yeah, I love that album.
At least $5,000. But there are legitimate things out there. I know, years ago he used to sign for this one collector that I know, and he would sign like a few albums for him every year. They were legit.
Wow.
He does on occasion do it, but
I mean,
He's notoriously a
and
difficult
now
person.
given all this information, if you're going to get it now, you'd have to. I mean, everybody has a phone. You'd have to have a recording of him signing it, so you could. That's the way you could document it, right? And authenticate it.
Well, it should sure help, but
Yeah.
like a lot of even then they don't. Sometimes you'll have a photograph or video, and even then the
Yeah.
authenticators they're not supposed to look at that stuff. They're supposed to just look at the
Really?
autograph.
So
Yeah,
you
even it helps, but honestly, they're supposed to just look at the autograph and identify it as authentic by visual only, not because photos and video can be faked, and it's so a lot of times I'll supply a photo and I'll say, hey, here's a photograph of Stephen King signing my book. I mean, 100% it's real. And it's like they don't even want to see the photo. They're just like, we don't care. We're only looking at the autograph in our opinion if it's genuine or not genuine.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's how they have to authenticate autographs.
Wow.
It does help. I'll be honest with you. Like if they'll but I think that technically they'll think about it. I mean, some people will look at it, but they're not supposed to. I mean, honestly, they're supposed to just look at that.
I mean, I could understand a photograph, right? I can understand being fake, but a video, an interview with him and his voice, he's speaking, you watch him sign. I would think that would be.
Yeah, you would think so, but when you have a photo or a video, you honestly don't even need to get authenticated.
And he's not going to participate in that detailed of a way. Probably he's not going to be like, okay, I'm signing this for you. He's just going to be like, get out of my face, you make me sick.
Dante, in all your years at TMZ, did you ever get Bob Dylan? Did you ever meet him?
No, I did see him perform last year when he was in LA, which was interesting. But no. Yeah, actually, you know what? One time in Nashville, he was performing downtown and he came out, but it was at night and it was like very dimly lit. So like I think I got him on camera, but I couldn't tell because someone came out in like a full like Jihadi John, cover up thing, and he got into the tour bus. I was like, was that him?
Was it so basically you got Bigfoot. You got your Bigfoot video.
Bigfoot, which we're gonna get to in 1 second. By the way, just to wrap it up on Britney, I predict that if she does have to show up for a signing, it'll be like when she went to Wood Ranch. She'll start speaking in tongues, and then she will get up and float out of the room like an apparition and back to Calabasas. She also doesn't care about Sam's ring. She is okay with returning the ring. Apparently, he got it for free anyway. She probably thought it was a piece of shit the whole time, in my opinion. I'm looking at it right here. Where's the picture? Of course, this article doesn't have the picture. She doesn't care. She's getting rid of it. Yeah, she doesn't need it. She doesn't need the diamonds. She doesn't need the money.
I am so I look, that's one thing. Like when I'm in love and I'm doing my thing there, I'll do anything, like make a sacrifice, do whatever. And you want to make the relationship work, what have you. I've always been very like sort of I never understood the whole like the guy should spend so much money on this ring. It's just
it's the diamond.
Very immature. It seems very immature to me. It just seems very immature.
It's that effing De Beers company. They invented this whole diamonds thing.
Yeah, I know.
100 years ago, and we've all had to live with it.
Yeah, I went down this whole rabbit hole, and diamonds are not even rare. And when you buy them, you spend thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands. And if you're a millionaire, hundreds of thousands of dollars on a ring, and the resale value it's garbage. You can't even resell it. It's such a scam. But not only that, it's such a it's just like an odd thing, because it's like you're gonna make a guy who's, you're a woman, you fall in love with your man, and then you have a hardworking husband that's gonna try to support the family, and you're gonna make this guy spend months and months and months of his salary for a ring that you can wear to show off. It just feels very. It's so immature and it feels so phony to me, and it's such a materialistic thing. It's not based on any. It doesn't come from I don't think a place of love. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll tell you a story. When I was in college, when I started out in college, I had this professor, and he was a professor, and he had started some business, made a shitload of money. He was retired, but he's as a professor because he wanted to keep busy. And he was telling us a story because somebody mentioned something about his wedding ring being odd. It was a piece of wood or something. And he told a story about how his wife and him both agreed, like, why spend all this money? And they both had these wooden rings made that were really beautiful. And I remember, like, there was girls in the class that were kind of laughing about it. And I kind of didn't I was so young. I was like, oh, it's kind of silly or stupid to do that. You should go get a ring. But now that I've gotten older, I'm like, that guy and his wife really got it. You know what I mean? It's like they really understood that they didn't fall for it. They weren't duped by the media, so to speak, you know?
But by the way, that picture of her holding the ring up is going to be the cover that they're going to use on the auction booklet when he sells the ring for twice the amount of money that he bought it for.
Right.
Britney Spears engagement ring. How soon will that auction?
Well, here's a question. Now, when you buy a diamond ring, right? Let's say you buy a diamond ring for $10,000. Wedding gets called off and you have this ring. You're putting the thing on Craigslist for like $500, right? No one's going to give you any squat for it. But does this ring go up in value?
For sure.
For her fans, yeah. I mean, he got it for free because someone wanted the promotion. And B, as long as she doesn't send it back, that's the worry, is that she'll send it back to the company. Then if I was Sam, I'd be like, okay, I'll take the ring back. Fine.
Yeah.
And then I would take it and sell it and keep all the profit. If she sends it back to the company, then Sam's screwed twice.
Yeah. Does he need the money? I mean, does he need money?
He needs the money.
Does he?
Yeah, like he's gotten used to the Britney Spears lifestyle, which is just like, let's just spend money. Who cares? And he's now going to have to be depending on just his fitness income. And I don't even know what he acts here and there, but he's not paying the bills with acting, and he's not going to get a big settlement. We talked about this last week. Even if the lawyers work something out, it's going to be in the several $100,000. That'll go quickly for a lifestyle that he's accustomed to.
Yeah.
So he needs that money.
Book deal.
Hey, now my other thing is Sam now more attractive to celebrity women and models because he was married to Britney Spears? Do you think that he will be dating other celebrities? Do you think because that he was married to her?
Yes, my prediction is going to date like some Instagram model that's a smoke show that's kind of on the borderline of being famous. Like she's famous in her little world. It's one of those like 2.1 million like Instagram models that's like absolutely gorgeous from like Europe or something.
Right, sure, but like that's someone that could benefit from dating Sam Asghari.
Yeah, and she's going to be in the fitness or something, and she's going to date him, and now she's on the radar, and she's going to like quadruple her following, and it's going to be like a mutual.
But would a female entertainer of stature look at him and be like, oh yes, I would love to have Britney Spears' sloppy seconds? I don't think so. I think they're going to look at Britney and the craziness and be like,
yeah, but
I agree with Justin. Because I think that this is a great publicity opportunity for an up and coming actress or Instagram model
up and coming
to get her name out in public. I mean, she starts dating this guy wherever they go, they're going to be photographed. She's going to be so well known.
Oh,
so
the paparazzi he's
going to be very attractive to a lot of women who want to become famous.
Right, but the women that are already famous, I don't think he's going to become that attractive.
I think the bigger question is who's going to want to date Britney now.
Well, it's funny that I've heard absolutely nobody in the media. I've seen like hey girl, now that you're single, DM me. Like none of that.
Yeah.
Remember you guys are like,
Justin. Yes, Justin wants to date.
Justin, yeah.
He's just asking whose competition would be is what he really wants to know.
Martin Shkreli. I don't know. Yeah. Not even Pete Davidson throwing his head in the ring.
I'm not affiliated. I'm not a thought.
We should fill out the application for Britney and send it in.
Yeah.
You can have an application. Are you a thought? I'll have to be like, unfortunately I am.
That would be funny. So we'll see what happens with Britney. This is an ongoing story. We'll watch the development. All right. We mentioned
if Britney and Martin Shkreli start dating, I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah. It could have been you. You're as good as Martin Shkreli, right? Surely. All right. So Bigfoot, we mentioned Bigfoot. This is the most convincing video ever, they say, even though it came out in 2013. And for some reason, it's getting well known now. But okay, here we go. Let's watch the video. The video is titled, "I think I saw a skunk ape. Please help." All right. So let's see what the hell this guy's talking about.
Janky ass camera work. Doesn't zoom in.
Yeah, that's
Come
a
on,
good
man.
point.
This guy's like a TMZ guy. The camera work's horrible.
No, we did great camera work when we were there. I think we did great camera work, dude. We knew how to stay on the subject and get stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I'm convinced it's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that stand. It's Bigfoot, 100%.
Most
No,
compelling.
I'm just kidding. It looks like a black bear to me, to be honest with you.
Black bears are like mopey when they walk, though. They're very like do 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 do.
Yeah, but it's not walking. It's just sitting there. It's just standing. So I'm thinking
They
like
do this
maybe
thing, like,
it's a bear.
They have this like movement about them. I've been in the woods. They're just kind of like they move around. They're mopey. They're constantly like sniffing and standing up and sitting. They're very like, I don't know. This is not bear behavior to me.
I don't know why they call a skunk ape, by the way, which is what he thinks he saw, is a cryptid ape-like creature alleged by cryptozoologists to inhabit forests and swamps in the southeastern United States. So I guess Bigfoot is more of like a North Pacific Northwest and that type of area. The skunk ape is the Bigfoot of the southeast. Or maybe it's an attempt to rebrand it and make it sound more serious than Bigfoot. Oh, it's actually a skunk ape. I don't know.
So every continent has like a Bigfoot legend. They call it something different. Yeti is Sasquatch, Bigfoot. They exist all around the globe in different names, but it's the same story, but different names.
I mean, that looks okay. Hold on. It's getting up.
Stood up.
It's getting up.
Let's go back.
Right, let's watch this.
It's skinny. It's not a black bear.
The head looks very ape-like.
Rewind the video. Go back.
Yeah, can you stop it when it stands up?
Yeah, stop. Pause it when it stands up.
There, but what's that?
Skinny looking. That's not a bear. That's not a bear.
Okay.
The head looks very ape-like. How like an ape has kind of like a cone head?
Yeah, that's true.
It's not a bear. Bears are thicker and fatter than that. Yeah, right there. Look, see the shoulders are really small.
Yeah.
Skinny and tall. That's a dude in a costume. This is bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on this video.
That's a good costume, though.
It's interesting.
It's bullshit.
It is. It does look pretty good from that distance. And it's a pretty tall guy, right?
I call bullshit on this video.
Listen, it's possible that like some weird millionaire that we've never heard of owned exotic animals in Mississippi or wherever this was, and they got out one day during a coke binge. That type of stuff. Escobar has hippos that are destroying Colombia for years now because he let them out, or they escaped when he got killed. It is always possible that they found tigers, they found exotic animals in these areas before. It could be some Joe Exotic freak living out there in the woods with his ape.
Who knows? When I lived in Pennsylvania, there was this rumor that there was moose and mountain lions in the woods, and everybody kind of laughed about like a moose in Pennsylvania. And sure enough, someone filmed one in Pennsylvania. It took years. There was at a reserve down in Delaware Gap, and they have no idea how this moose, because the nearest moose was got into Pennsylvania because the nearest moose was like Maine or something, and they figured it followed the rivers all the way down to Pennsylvania, and then no one could believe it. So who knows? Maybe there are animals out there, cryptids that we just haven't seen yet. It's possible.
I'm more in disbelief that no one could believe that a moose might possibly be there in Pennsylvania.
I know.
It looks like the type of place where a moose would be. Am I crazy?
I know it's not that far. Pennsylvania's not that far from me.
No, it's a couple states. It's a couple states over. Like
I'm talking about New Mexico,
all the way to Pennsylvania.
It's not like
seems like. But nobody sees it the whole time. It's going from state to state to state. It goes through several states that don't have moose. Ends up in Pennsylvania. Some
stoner saw it like in upstate New York, and he was telling his friends, like, I saw a moose. And they're like, dude, you did not see it. He's like, I'm telling you, I've seen it.
Right. So I don't know.
Maybe this is a moose. Maybe this is a moose. I don't know.
I'm kind of like the Bigfoot story in general is like, I don't know. This by the way, was the classic 1967 Patterson.
That's the year that came out? That's the year 67?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was it. In the Summer of Love, they found a Bigfoot.
That's
That was
69. This is 67. That's the year of
no,
what's that?
67 was the Summer of Love.
Sergeant Pepper's, baby. That's Sergeant Pepper, man.
Yeah.
And I believe that guy who shot this on his deathbed said that it was a hoax.
Yeah.
Although people still argue about it to this day.
The
How
Pharma
could you-
looks phony. It's all one, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
thing with that other thing we just saw. I'm calling bullshit on all of it.
Yeah. So
I'm not saying I don't believe in Bigfoot, by the way. I want to make that clear. I'm open to. I think there might be a Bigfoot out there. There's too many legends, too many stories, too many people. But this one, no.
And of course, we can't forget the Bigfoot that was on network television in the late 80s. Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. He was he's never been proven, but he was allegedly on TV.
John Lithgow did a great job in that movie, by the way. He's an excellent actor. I think he's one of the most underrated actors.
John Lithgow probably like secretly hated doing that show because he's like a super serious Shakespearean actor and stuff, and he's there like,
but he did
Third Rock from the Sun.
He did Third Rock from the Sun, which was like very goofy.
Yeah, but he needed it. That was back when like you do a sitcom and the syndication money will pay you forever. So he was happy to do it. But I'm just saying, looking at coming to work every day and looking at this, and with his training and how seriously he takes himself, he's probably fucking miserable.
He does take himself pretty seriously. There's a funny story about Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox, wanted to make the transition back in the 80s. It was, if you were on TV, that was like whatevs. That was the B class, but to be in the feature films and the movies, that was like, that's where you wanted to be. And a lot of actors had a hard time jumping from television to feature. And Michael J. Fox wanted desperately to make it into the feature film role. He didn't want to be on TV anymore. He was on Life, I believe, is the show, right? And right, Facts of Life,
Family
Ties. I'm sorry, Family Ties. I knew it was an F. Family Ties. So he's on Family Ties, and he gets an opportunity to be on Teen Wolf, and he's didn't know that the producers, Spielberg and them, Zemeckis wanted him. They actually wanted Michael J. Fox, but because of his contract with Family Ties, he couldn't get out of it. So he was able to get himself into Teen Wolf, and they're in Pasadena, and it's hot out, and he's in that costume, and he's sweating, and he's just like miserable, and he's like, what did I sign up for? Like, this is the dumbest thing. I don't want to be in this costume anymore. I don't want to do this. And they're doing a scout, believe it or not, where they're filming Teen Wolf. Happens to be this general area where Back to the Future is scouting for locations. As you know, Doc's house in Back to the Future was in Pasadena. And so they were there scouting, and they ran into the production, and they started talking to him, and he was like, what are you guys doing? He's like, oh, we're making this movie, Teen Wolf. And he's like, oh, we're scouting for this Spielberg movie, Zemeckis Spielberg movie called Back to the Future. And he was like, I remember thinking to myself, man, what I wouldn't give to be on that. I don't want to be in this costume anymore. This sucks. Like, this is terrible, and it's hot. I want to be on that production. Come to find out, fast forward, they fired Eric Stoltz, brought him back to Marty in, and he was on the movie. So it's a great Hollywood success story. And it all started.
Your microphone's out, Dante.
Oh, sorry. I was saying it was a good move to fire Stoltz. That guy has no charisma.
No, he was terrible for the movie. He was too serious and angry, and it didn't match the movie. The movie was supposed to not take itself so seriously and be fun and a little more adventurous, and he was taking it to the next level of just like.
By the way, did you know that Ron Perlman did not play Harry in the Andersons?
That I don't believe. I'll never believe that.
Oh man,
that's a conspiracy right there. All right, so Bigfoot might be real, might not. We'll see. We'll keep it up there with the Loch Ness Monster, which, by the way, they're going to search for that thing next week, right? So we got to talk about that.
Yeah, Mark, you're on top. What's up with that? What's the latest,
I believe I think it's going to be on the 26th, I believe. But what day is it? Did I say 26 and 27?
Yeah, 26th or 27th they're doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. They're looking for volunteers to search for the Loch Ness Monster. It'll be the biggest search in 50 years, apparently. And I didn't realize how, if you read the article I wrote on ClickPop about the Loch Ness Monster, I didn't realize how far back that these sightings go. Some monk, once reported the Loch Ness Monster attacking somebody like years ago, and it's been around for quite a long time. These sightings, so it'd be interesting. I don't know if they'll find anything at this point. You think they've done so many searches with submarines and sonar, and they just haven't found anything. But there's a theory that it goes in and out of the lake. It has an underground cavern that leaks, that goes out into the ocean, and it only comes into the lake to whatever, lay eggs or whatever it does there, feed. I don't know, mate, who knows? But there's a theory it's not always there. Yeah, that's why they don't see it all the time. That the theory is that, and when they do searches, they can't find it, that it's outside of the lake. Yeah. So it'd be interesting.
Makes sense. Well, last thing, let's end on some good news. An OnlyFans model who offered to sell her nudes for $10 a picture ended up raising about $10,000 for the Maui wildfires, even though GoFundMe kicked her off. I don't understand why they do that. Like, she's doing it for a good cause. Is it still such a Puritan country that a woman who is already doing this as a profession can't just say, hey, I'll donate some of the money that I'm making to Maui? It's an extra $10K. I'm sure they could use it. Your thoughts?
Is there something in the terms of service that says it can't be from that type of work? Like where do they? What was their legal?
There probably is, but
it seems like you're exploiting a tragedy to raise money. I mean, I don't know. It seems like,
but she's donating it to she. But isn't she? She is donating it to the cause.
Is it all the money, or is she keeping some of it? That's the point. Maybe she was only donating a certain percentage of it.
Yeah, but the bigger picture here is that she makes the announcement, probably knowing she's going to get kicked off, probably knowing they're not going to take it. There might be something in the terms of service that she knew about. These girls, sometimes they're a lot more clever than we give them credit for, or people give them credit for, I should say. Yeah. And she might have known that they were going to probably like push back on it. It's a win-win for her, because if she says, hey, look, I'm going to donate $10,000, which I'm not saying is not a lot of money. It's a lot more money than I donated. So bravo to her for doing it, And the fact that she's donating $10,000, I mean, that's a significant amount of money to help families out and buy food and supplies. So she donates the money, and now she's in the news cycle talking about donating money, right? And if they ban her, now she's in the news even more. But the bigger picture here is that she's going to get so many new subscribers. And the new subscribers will probably offset the donation, which she can probably write off. And now in the long run, she's going to make more money in the long run. So it's really a marketing play. It's like going on Shark Tank, knowing you're not going to get a deal.
And that's what she did. She moved the fundraiser because even though she didn't post any of the nudes on GoFundMe, it still violated their prohibited conduct section. Right. So she moved it to OnlyFans, where she gave people a free trial for 30 days. And your donations, $10 equals one nude, and that money was sent. So it was a brilliant marketing scheme ultimately. And I'm disappointed, Justin. I didn't see you donate one nude. What's the matter with you? Take the shirt off.
It was a partial.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I once again, another marketing play.
Yeah.
Marketing, baby. It's all marketing.
Are you talking about, speaking of marketing, I forgot to mention it, Tiffany Gomas.
Yeah.
The not real airplane girl.
Yeah,
she's now on here.
I said this from the beginning. I said this from day one that it was marketing.
Look at these hashtags: self-love, empowerment, motivation. Stay tuned. So she is launching her wellness brand. It's got to be right. That's got to be the explanation.
Who could have ever predicted this?
It seems weird though. You put like total strangers delay their flight for a couple hours. I don't know. It seems strange. Don't you think that these people would have grounds for a lawsuit as in this type of situation? Like, is she really going to do this? It seems like a strange thing to.
I don't think she
publicity stunt.
I don't think she did it on purpose to launch a career in wellness or life coaching or whatever. I think she saw the opportunity and now she's taking advantage of it.
I'm suspicious of that. I don't. It just nothing adds up in that story. The camera didn't go to the person she's talking about. She never talked about who she was talking about. We never found out who she was mentioning. I called marketing ploy from day one. That's what I said on this pod. I said, but it was marketing. When I found out she worked in marketing, I said it's marketing.
What do you think of this conspiracy that the cameraman for Tiffany Gomas and the skunk ape cameraman were the same guy? That's why.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that happens. I mean, the chief of police of Las Vegas during that very controversial shooting that took place was also the chief of police in Maui. So, I mean,
I still want to find out what she was pointing at. I wish she would just come out and say what she saw. Like,
Well,
was it a
I've been thinking,
monster, a ghost, an
Stay tuned
alien?
for when she writes her book, Mark. It's going to be in the book. You got to,
or you gotta sign up for her course or subscribe to her platform.
And then you'll find out the answer that everyone needs to know.
If she was really a charitable, wonderful person, she would be donating the answer to Maui. Like Maui, every time you donate to Maui, she'll privately DM you with the answer.
And you'll get a nude.
And a nude from the other girl.
Which, by the way, I have to say, I am, maybe I'm naive. Maybe I'm just old fat. I don't know. I cannot, or maybe I'm just not, I don't care to do it, but I just cannot believe. I'm in shock how many people are paying for OnlyFans.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
or any kind of online pornography.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Like, I don't get it. I just don't understand it.
I know. It kind of, well, I mean, why do people, it's like, it kind of killed the whole porn industry in a way. I was wondering, like, why would a woman want to be in porn business now? Like, she could just get rid of the middleman and go right directly to her fans.
Yeah. I mean, only
way more money.
It makes you feel like, I think you have, for the guys that pay for it, like they have some kind of personal relationship because they get DMs or special requests. But then there's other girls that have set up. There was a girl who trained AI to mimic her voice, and now you can pay the AI an amount every month or per conversation, and it'll speak to you as her, and she doesn't have to do anything.
I mean, I know a lot of these models hire teams to answer Twitter posts and Instagram things, like pretend like they're them, which is sad. But I mean, I guess the answer is that there's just that many lonely men out there, huh?
There's a song about it called Eleanor Rigby. It goes, all the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Well, the answer is OnlyFans. Anyways, guys, this was a good show. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you for everybody who watched. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. Subscribe to clickpop.substack.com. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter at clickpop2, clickpop Shakur, clickpop2, and TikTok at clickpop0. Okay?
Okay.
Any last words? Come on, this better be good. No.
Be sure to donate your nudes to Hawaii.
Yeah. Send the nudes to Justin first, and he will decide whether they should be donated to Hawaii.
I'm on OnlyFans.
And Arby's, if you could send us a free coupon for some
we want a free
Arby
coupon,
burgers.
After
all that publicity that Justin went on and on about raving about that.
It was a pretty good burger.
Cheeseburger. Yeah, I think we should get something out of this.
No, you asked me. It was a pretty good burger, but I want to try the other things on the menu. We should do that every episode. Once a week, we should have a new item from try it out.
That reminds me, you said you were going to go try the Wagyu at Arby's. Did that happen?
That I don't know. I just ordered a cheeseburger.
Oh, so that was
Is that what that was? Was that Wagyu?
I don't know. You mentioned it. I don't know.
Wagyu, I know this guy.
I'm not signed up for the Arby's newsletter.
You know what that is? That Wagyu thing? Marketing.
Right. I know this guy who was going to set up a cricket burger where they make burgers out of crickets here in LA.
I'm out.
You're not going to. No. You have to try it. It's only fair.
That is a World Economic Forum conspiracy to make us eat bugs. I'm not doing it, even if they put it at Arby's. How about that?
Unless I'm in the woods like Rambo trying to survive, I'm not eating bugs, dude.
Unless you're running from a skunk ape for your life, not doing it.
Would you eat a skunk ape if he hunter shot one, brought it back to the camp, and said, "I got some tasty skunk ape burgers we're gonna make here."
The meat must be rancid.
Only if it was Wagyu.
Right.
Do you think the guy would get in trouble if he ate a Bigfoot? If he actually took it home back to the camp?
Well, what do you think about
it and ate it?
Do you think that there are wealthy hunters out there who love to eat the, like exotic game, and that's why we can never find a Bigfoot or a Loch Ness monster because they're being hunted by these billionaires?
There you go. That's a great idea for a movie. Write it up.
I can tell you right now that Bigfoot and Loch Ness monster taste like trash.
Yeah, that is a good idea for a movie. Hey, we own the copyright to that. If anyone's talking about it, we're going to write something about a guy, starts with the Bigfoot, then to the skunk ape, and then finally, the Loch Ness, and then finally he sets his sights on the biggest game of all, the alien bodies that have been recovered by the U.S. government. And his goal is just to get his hand on a tasty alien thigh or something.
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
I'd go see it. I'm there.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Dante, you need to be a writer, dude.
From the makers of Meg 2, The Trench, comes, we don't have a title yet, but
working title.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We've hit an hour. This is our longest pod ever. So we did it. We did it, Brooklyn. We did it. See everybody later.
Take care. Peace.